Hey guys, it's Maynas and I'm gonna give my Raw review. Now, this Raw is absolutely, I would say it's absolutely horrible, or you could say, well, not really horrible, but it's like, I would describe it as not so great. Especially that this is the second Raw after the Royal Rumble, and supposedly we should get a better Raw. But for some reason, the qualifying matches are so predictable. The matches of the division, like the tag team, is absolutely worse for some reason. But it doesn't mean that the tag teams are worse. It's just that this is all you've given us. But there's the obvious, and I will discuss it further down the line. At the same time, there are opening segments of the show that we will discuss why it's so odd, or you could say awkward or cringe in some ways. But and also I want to add in a match. I kind of look at the WWE.com that yes, there is a match that is supposed to be said as well. That are we still living in the Divas era for some reason? I don't know. But we going to discuss things. Also, people complain about commercial after commercial, but it is what it is. You know how WWE under TKO it has become. But anywho, let's start first with the opening segment, which is Becky Lynch challenged AJ Lee to a match at Elimination Chamber. Honestly, their back and forth is kind of a bit strange because, you know, it took more than how many minutes of this segment. I don't know why. And at the same time, for Becky to at least, for some reason, she kind of act like she's about to lose her mind. Similar to, in my mind, I thought that she's gonna end up like Seth, who was losing his mind back in the day. But you know, it would make a lot of sense why she has to overdone of what she did. Like she doesn't need to do it first and foremost, but it is what it is. But at the same time, you know, we're gonna see a match between them at Elimination Chamber for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And the thing is about Becky, she once said that you can't have this championship because you haven't earned it yet, which is a valid reason. But for some reason, when AJ was like, "Oh, okay, I'll just, not gonna deal with you or anything," Becky wants to challenge her for whatever reason. It's like I don't know why, and it's so odd for that, but it is what it is, I guess. So, despite of this cringe type of segment, for some reason people say it's cringe, but it is like when I watch it, Becky starts laughing and all this stuff. AJ wasn't her usual self of being this good on the mic, because I get it, like as a heel you're good, like she's good as a heel when she talks in the mic, but babyface, it's like she's being, I don't know, she's trying to being careful what she's going to say. Like I get it. It's been how many years that she hasn't been doing this a lot lately, but she has to, improve a bit because, some people will understand that yes, it's very difficult to do it for how many years, but you just have to, say it. Say as you will, because people will gonna genuinely going to accept you what you're going to say. But I get it. It took her so long to not start first with the promo that she needs to discuss. But anywho, and before that, it was already announced Braun Breaker is now injured because of the. I guess you could argue that he hurt because of the training, his morning routine training. But at the same time, it was discussed that he was hurt probably a few days ago, or you could argue a week ago because of the Rumble situation. He got eliminated, so we thought okay, but we didn't know that he was hurt leading up to it, or maybe he just hurt because of the routine. But still, it's the same thing. I feel like you can't use your wrestler to do something while they're injured. Of course, it's just a simple thing like tossing the table last week or the announcer's table, but it's like if it hurts him more, you don't need to do that anymore. And that's on WWE's case. But of course, if it's on Braun Breaker, I wish him for a speedy recovery. Hopefully, he can get back because the Masked Man has returned. We'll discuss about that. Then we get to our first match, which is the World Tag Team Champions Usos defeated Alpha Academy. This is the thing. I think that Tosawa, he's really good. Like, he's been underused, but he kind of showcased that he can wrestle, and that is a good part for him. This is one of his best, time to be used for a while. And the thing is about it is that yes, there were some situations where the DDT Jay got, I guess you can say, lights out from it, almost like a KO. Um, there were botch spots as well, which is another thing. It ended up as well where Tosawa hit this flying senton, which that was his finisher move. And I thought that this match is over, but Jimmy kick out, and then they proceed to do the spears, went through the spears, the super kicks, and the 1D to get the win. So the Usos retain, and honestly, they're trying their best to make Alpha Academy as legit because of the tag team division is not so good right now. And here's the thing, because you got the Lucha Brothers, Penta, and Rey Phoenix. I don't know why they need to be separated. They need to be together as a team leading up to Mania if we're gonna have the Usos versus the Lucha Brothers. There were some people wanted the Hardys if it's possible. Like, it could happen to see who's the greatest tag team, but we'll see. But again, it was an okay match. Well, to be fair, it was an okay match. It's not really that worse. Of course, the opening segment was a bit but the opening match was okay for me. Then we get to another segment. Stephanie Baker slapped Dominic Mysterio. Now, before that, Liv and Dominic made their entrance to the ring, and Dom gave Liv some rose and chocolates because of Valentine's Day. And of course, Liv say, "I'm gonna give you a gift later." So if you know, you know. But later on, Stephanie comes out and challenge Liv. Like, she wanted Liv to pick Stephanie so that for Stephanie to kick her ass. But the thing is, she's speaking in Spanish, so Dom didn't want to say what she said. So of course, according to Stephanie, calling Dom the B word. And after that, Liv tries to intimidate Stephanie, thinking about this T-shirt about I forget the teacher. It's like, oh wait, I remember. It's like anyone who wears the T-shirts are considered to be hot girls who likes Dominic Mysterio. So basically, according to Liv, you're not fit for it to Stephanie Baker, which is kind of crazy. But in the end of the day, she said the P word, puta. And yes, basically, Stephanie was mad, and she slapped Dominic. Of course, it is what it is because of how she doesn't want that word, and she wants to get her lick back, but on Dominic. Then we get to basically the second match, which is crazy. So Rhea Ripley versus Lyra Valkyria versus Ivy Nile in a triple threat. This is a qualifying match. Again, so predictable because Rhea won the match and there was a botch spot. Also, I forget, in the Stephanie Baker, she said, "You talk too much." So I think that Botchamania is having a field day on this one, or promo joke. Either way, they're having a field day on this one because with Stephanie saying that, and then the botch spot of Rhea and Jay on Raw. Yes, basically, we get a Botchamania situation on Raw. Again, Rhea was lifting Lyra with this electric chair execution on the shoulders, and then supposedly Ivy should hit a bulldog going down. But the thing is, Rhea went too fast, or you could say she wasn't patient enough to wait because either IB takes her time or Rhea needed to make this quick for some reason, and that's when, yeah, it ended up where Rhea pinned IB. No, Rhea pinned Lyra to get the win. So it goes to show that in Unreal, maybe Lyra is getting punished of the SummerSlam situation. So I guess that, it is what it is now, huh? But anywho, again, so predictable for Rhea to be in. Like, it will be a surprise if Lyra wins, so that this could be different. If IB wins, then of course no one wants to see her win. Of course, some people would. But it's like it would be very interesting if Creative is going to take some risk, but they don't want to take risk. They just wanted to give the all-out, all-star, matches without realizing that you can build young talent or other talents that was being utilized. So if the top talent is injured, you can at least utilize the ones that is not being used. I hope WWE will understand that. But I get it, it's a business, what can you do? Next, we get to Finn Balor demanded a title chance or shot against CM Punk at Elimination Chamber. So we were having a scheduled interview between Michael Cole and CM Punk. But instead, it was interrupted by Finn Balor. Finn wanted a rematch at Elimination Chamber. And this is the thing, because they did it in Ireland, that was Finn's hometown, and they did it now in Chicago, but we all know Finn's gonna lose. It's such a shame that this person, Finn, we want him to succeed, but it's like, he's gonna lose anyways. But it would be interesting if, for somehow, some way, they made the trigger or I would say pull the trigger where Finn is going to be world champ, but I don't think there's a possibility to it. But still, it was a good way of a segment. Of course, like Adam Pearce trying to cancel it because one, the main event is in jeopardy because of course we noticed that Braun is hurt, so of course we don't want the stars to get hurt before Mania. And Cleveland kind of booed because they thought that we're going to have a match now on Cleveland, but instead it will be on Elimination Chamber. So they booed, and it is what it is. Next, we get to the third match, which is kind of crazy. Maxine Dupree versus Natty ended in a double countout. So Natty, in his new gimmick, or it was introduced in AAA and then other events with this type of good gimmick that Natty has. How the hell did this match ended so quick? Either 1 minute or maybe two, who knows? How the hell did we end up in this match that, one, we don't know if it matters. Two, we expect that Natty to do some damage, more and more, and she could get the W, but instead a double count out. And then what's even crazy, AJ Lee comes in, of course. What's this going on? Do we gonna get Natalia versus AJ someday? I don't know. But it led to Becky Lynch attack AJ from behind. And that's when, yes, basically if you notice, it's one of those things that we question ourselves. Like, we went to a awful match that doesn't even matter anyways. And then this time you added AJ to save the day only to get beaten up by Becky Lynch. I don't know. It's kind of odd. Then we get to the fourth match. So this is Javon Evans and the original El Grande Americano / Chad Cable defeated Los Americanos, which is, I cannot say the name, but you already knew, like Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. So this is one of the best scenes that I have watched in this tag team. The perfect timing of Javon Evans hitting a OG cutter on, I think, Tyler Bate, the blue luchador. So it was executed properly. And I can guarantee you Randy Orton is smiling while watching this because this is a viral moment. this would be top for more than years to come, and I can guarantee you this is the most perfect execution. You know, it's one of those things that I feel bad because Carmelo at one point and Cody did it before, but it didn't work out. I think this was Carmelo's first SmackDown match, and it didn't end well because Cody's gonna hit the Cody cutter, but lands on his shoulder, and he kind of, feels some effect to it that, hopefully he's not hurt because he was basically champion after beating Roman, and then one of the first few weeks, he gets basically almost hurt his shoulder because of a failed Cody cutter spot. But this time, Javon, you know, did it well. I thought that it's gonna go bad. It depends, but still perfect timing and one of the best scenes to see. Of course, the match is all right as well. Couple of German suplexes of, or you could say, couple of offense of original El Grande, but at the same time they get the W. And then what happened was is that El Grande Americano slash Kaiser is going to rip the mask off, but the original El Grande did the same thing, trying to reverse and hit, and trying to remove the mask. But of course, hopefully we don't get a mask versus mask. But it's gonna happen because for some reason, here's the thing. Because El Grande Kaiser is well popular in AAA. If you remove the mask at this point, what else is he gonna do? And it's kind of crazy because in Mexico, they don't like the original. They like Kaiser, which is kind of insane. But it is what it is. And yeah, basically it's also an okay tag team match, but still a good scene from Japan hitting the OG cutter. But anywho, we get to the fifth match or the main event. LA Knight defeated Penta and Austin Theory in a triple threat match. This is a qualifying elimination chamber. So this one is it's not that predictable, but it depends on how WWE is gonna book it. LA Knight or Penta. But LA Knight, good thing that he won, but I feel bad that he's not gonna win the match at Elimination Chamber. It would be interesting if WWE tried to take some risk because LA Knight is still popular. I hope they do whatever it takes for him this year because look, what the hell, man. But still, there's a lot of things going on, of course, back and forth, all this stuff. But at the same time, we noticed that the vision came in because according to Adam Pearce, you don't need to interfere this match, and they did. It is what it is. But we all thought that it was over, and Penta saved the day. It led to the Masked Man out of nowhere attack Austin Theory because, of course, like LA Knight took out Logan Paul and Bronson Reed. At the same time, Penta was already under on the announce desk, and then the Masked Man attacked, hit a curve stomp. That was Seth Rollins for sure. But for now, I think they're gonna give it to Grayson Waller. It is what it is. They're trying to protect Seth from getting injured, but Grayson could at least be the one to attack, but he's not gonna be the man that is going to reveal. But there's also story there because Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they were a tag team, but now they were separate ways. Grayson is already in the New Day, Austin Theory is in the Vision, so there could be some good story leading up to it, hopefully. And then after that, LA Knight hit the BFT on Austin Theory to get the 1-2-3. So the most, you could say either him or Penta winning would matter, but still, it was a okay match or okay to end a good main event. But still, the reason why I say that this Raw overall that it is, well, I did earlier say it's horrible, or either way, it's questionable because of the decision making that the creative team did, especially that when in the third match, man, Maxine versus Natty, double count out, less than, I don't know if it's a minute, two, or maybe less than 5 minutes. It's so like, what are we doing? supposed to be Natty should take this character seriously, but WWE didn't know what to do, and that was their solution. The opening segment was also in a bad situation. I feel a bit cringe of the situation, especially when Becky starts laughing, losing her mind. I don't know why she overdo it. Like, she doesn't need to do it, but it is what it is. And yeah, so also once again, very predictable for Rhea to win, of course. Predictable, sorry. It's so what do you call this? It's so obvious, or predictable is the right thing, but still is what it is. So that's basically your Raw for this was February 9th on 2026. This could be episode 6. So of course, uh my thoughts on this one, honestly, overall, once again, everything that went through, it was not a good Raw. I'm sorry. Like, if you think that this is a good Raw, it's up to you. But there were, I could say, some key moments. The Javon spot is one thing. Um, LA winning finally, that's another thing. And you could argue that, Stephanie slapping Dom, that's also a good thing, I guess. But yeah, that's basically it. So, of course, it's already confirmed that Elimination Chamber, we will get chamber matches. Sorry, two chamber matches. Whoever the Rumble winner did decide is going after the championship. Then you got the Women's Intercontinental Champion match, and then you get a arguably CM Punk versus Finn Balor. So this is more so of a little bit of a Raw takeover pay per view or PLE. But yeah, and that's basically it. So all I can say, guys, is that thank you for watching, and we will see each other in the next episode, which is NXT's episode 6. So once again, thank you for watching. We'll see each other in the next video, guys. Peace.